What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Front Yard Fantasy Hour presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my very handsome co-host, Josh and John. Luke.
What up?
We're looking good and it's Friday.
Let's go.
And joining us as our most handsome co-host for today, we've got another member of the Front Yard fam here with us, Joey Wright. What's up, Joey?
Yeah, sometimes I wonder why I joined this company, and it's nights like this that I know why I joined this company.
It's
Yes.
Friday, yeah.
Bring in
Enjoy.
that energy, Joey.
Let's go. Josh, I don't know, for some reason, that song gave me like Gene Belcher from Bob's Burgers vibes. Like it was very like on the spot, but well constructed and kind of like jingly. You were giving me a good, that was a compliment, Gene Belcher vibes on that song.
Listen, I know you're going for a compliment, but I know I also do not deserve it in any means whatsoever. But thank you. I appreciate
Gene
it.
Belcher is a musical genius.
Yeah,
He's the
yeah.
best character on that show. Guys, we got some people in the chat ready for today's show. Dame, what's
like
up?
Louise.
Says, yippee!
What up,
More
Dame?
FYF to end the week.
Dame.
Craig said we had a
Yes.
Dino duel. Now it is fan duel time. Yes, for those of you who missed it on our show
More
earlier
duels.
today on our channel, the Front Yard
More duels, more
Fantasy
fun.
channel, we did two brackets, one for 2022 breakout wide receivers, but the other one was a dinosaur battle royale. And that was the very important one. So make sure you guys go check that out. Find out who would win in a battle of the dinosaurs. And Damon here just preaching for us. Excellent dino talk. Learned so much.
I learned
Yes.
a lot.
JL
Me
is
too.
a paleontologist now. We saw a David
Yeah.
Attenborough
I am.
documentary.
I am.
He's
I
an
watched the whole
authority.
documentary.
We
That
know
was-
he hates bird,
Chicken,
like
turkey birds.
chicken raptor things. So,
Yeah.
if they have feathers, get them out of here. They're not.
You know
winning,
what?
Don't need
okay?
them.
JL, I'm sorry, I undersold you. Not only have you seen the David Attenborough documentary about dinosaurs, you've also
Thank you.
seen A Land Before Time.
I have
and
all
I
of them.
just
True.
wanted to make sure that was put out there to really highlight how much
Thank
of a
you.
dinosaur expert you
Thank
are.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
got
Thank you.
Albert in the chat ready for today. What's up, Albert? Welcome.
up, Albert?
Maria said, "What a crew! What a crew
Hi, Maria.
indeed." Geek, what's up? Welcome in.
What up,
Glad to have you here. And Albert wants to know, is this Dynasty QB tiers or redraft? That is a great question, Albert. And today we're doing redraft. So we're going to be talking just for the 2022 season as we're gearing up. Everyone's getting into mock draft. They're getting in shape, right? Flexing those muscles. So we're going to talk redraft QBs today. Mr. Scampers, what's up? Welcome in. And
What up,
hello,
Scamps?
Joey's mother. She's excited to see Mr.
Hi, Mom.
Scampers, but not us,
Hi, Mom.
apparently. And Mr. Scampers reminding us, feathers aren't weapons.
The ticklers.
They're not.
You know what? Go watch the documentary Tickled if you think that weapons can't or feathers can't be weaponized or tickles can't be weaponized. That is a terrifying and upsetting documentary. That sounds very playful. At the very least, go watch the trailer. In the first 30 seconds, you're gonna be like, oh, this looks so fun. And then you're just gonna be like, what the hell is
Nope.
going on here? That's my movie recommendation for the day. Watch it
cool.
at your own risk. Guys, today we brought Joey here. We didn't bring Joey here. Joey's here with us on the Front Yard Fantasy team. We brought all of us here to do some QB tiers. Before that, a couple reminders. Number one, if you are not already doing so, make sure you're subscribed to FanDuel on YouTube and follow them on Twitch. If you're over there watching on Twitch, they have a whole team of awesome content creators across those two platforms, as well as TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. They're at FanDuel everywhere, easy to find. So make sure you guys go follow them across all social platforms for the best fantasy and betting content. After you do that, if you enjoy what we do here, if you like the games we're playing, stuff we're doing on this show, we are live every day, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time over on our channel at Front Yard Fantasy. You, if you're not subscribed there, you might have missed the dinosaur brackets today, and that's not the kind of content you want to miss.
It's always in the
whenever you're
game over
getting ready
there.
for fantasy football. It is always in the game over there. You guys ready to get started with our QB tiers?
Oh yeah.
I'm
Let's go ahead and
excited
pull
for
this up.
We haven't
For
done
those of you-
tiers in a minute.
I know it's been a while. I'm excited. For
Yeah.
those of you who have never seen us do tiers, here's how this is going to work. We're going to take turns selecting players, and we are going to then vote on what tier we think they belong in, maybe with some explanation. We'll average those numbers out, and whatever the average comes out to is the tier they will go in. If it is a 0.5 or higher, we will round to the next tier. So like if it averages out to tier 2.5, that player is going to go in tier 3. If it's from 2 to 2.49, they'll go in tier 2. So that's what we're going to do here as far as breaking ties or ones that land right in the middle. And I think what we should do here is maybe start with just some of the guys that are unanimous tier 1, ones that we don't think we have to talk
See,
about.
this is
These-
where the conversation's going to get weird, though. Yeah.
Is
Okay,
it?
you know what?
So, hey, no, look, Josh Allen, guys. Is Josh Allen in tier 1? I absolutely think he is.
Yeah.
There's
I
no doubt
agree.
about it.
Come on.
All right, let's just throw him in there. That's
See-
an easy one.
That's the kind of
He's
names
like-
I was talking about. Josh Allen.
This is the
tier one.
this is where the conversation
Josh is
gets
like,
weird,
I don't
though,
know.
Simon. I think I could make an argument that Josh Allen separates himself from every other quarterback in the NFL. My second quarterback this year is going to actually be Justin Herbert. I'd much rather have Josh Allen. I'd much rather have Josh Allen than Justin Herbert because of his rushing ability. I know he's going to score touchdowns. He's like a goal line running back, and I like his situation. So I don't know. I think there's a conversation to be had. That's all I'll say.
Okay, then you know what? Why don't we start with Justin Herbert? And Joey, we'll start with your vote here. Where are you going to tier Justin Herbert?
I do agree with Josh. And I hate saying that because I know I love saying that. I love when Josh and I are in sync. I do think Allen's in a tier of his own this year. Herbert is just a step below. I honestly love what the Chargers did defensively on the other side of the ball. So I don't think Herbert's going to have to work as much this year, but I still think he's an elite quarterback. Just a step below Allen, so I can't put him in the same tier.
So tier 2 for Joey. Josh, are you agreeing with Joey there? It sounded like you also said tier 2.
Joey summed it up perfectly. The better defense for Justin Herbert. They're just everything surrounding him. I love Justin Herbert in Dynasty. Maybe that's even crazier, but I actually do put him in the same tier. But for redraft next year, I want Josh Allen more than Justin Herbert. Tier 2 for me.
JL, there's nothing we can do to get him any higher than tier 2. It's been decided, but where are you going to put Justin Herbert?
I'm gonna put him in tier 1.
Tier 1 from JL. You think it's close enough with Josh Allen?
I think he's close enough. I'm very bullish on Justin Herbert this year. He's got a lot of weapons around him, and I'm excited.
Dylan, I'm with you. He is my QB3 currently, and I've got 4 quarterbacks that I would put in that tier 1. I've got 3 other guys that I'm on a similar level as Josh Allen, where I would feel just as comfortable with them. Justin Herbert is one of those 4 guys, and so I would put him in tier 1 as well. But what that's going to come out to is 1.5, which is going to land Justin Herbert in the tier 2 category. Justin Herbert is going to land in tier 2 with Josh Allen alone up there at tier 1 so far. Joey, did you want to pick a name that we talk about next? Maybe another guy that you're very high on?
So yeah, I'll get personal on this because I mean, there's a couple names we could mention on this, but somebody I really love.
I know who you're going for.
You probably do. Is Dak Prescott? Is that who I was going for?
I was wrong.
Okay, no,
it was someone you brought up earlier in our call this morning. He's a runner. I'll just leave it at that. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I know who you're thinking of. I'll let you bring him up. But no, I really love Dak Prescott this year, even though he lost to Amari Cooper. The weapons around him, I'm pretty confident in. With Tolbert coming in as a rookie, I think he's going to be great. There's just not. CeeDee Lamb, I think, takes a huge step forward. He's my wide receiver 3. I actually have him above Justin Jefferson. I think everything is there for Lamb this year. I mean, for Dak Prescott,
including
I want to put him at the end of tier 2. What'd you say?
Including Lamb.
Yeah, including Lamb.
Yeah.
I want to put him at the end of tier 2, but still there. He's the
End of tier 2
for drop off for me.
For Joey, for Dak Prescott. We've got Damon here with her love for Herbie. And Mr. Scamber said, when was the last time we had a 3-peat? I think Herbert finishes number 1. Definitely in the range of outcomes. And that's why he's up there in that same tier for me. Not that I'm predicting it, but I think there's a very real probability that happens. And Tabitha, thank you so much. And Simon, Josh, Dale, and Joey, you are very entertaining.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
She's only obligated to tell one of us that. So that's nice.
That's extra.
And Geek said, be bold. Dak tier 1. Josh, where are you going to put Dak Prescott?
I'll be bold. I'll be bold with Dak. I think this is a little bold. I'm going to put him in tier 3. Is that bold? I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to put him in tier 2 with a big grouping of quarterbacks, but I think the Cowboys, they want to run the ball. We saw that at the beginning of last season. They did throw it a lot more as the season went down, but I think they want to run the ball. Like I said, with Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, they lost Amari Cooper. I love CeeDee Lamb, and I like the talent they have around Dak Prescott. But again, tier 3, there's just quarterbacks in tier 2, I think, that separate themselves personally.
Okay, we've got a 2 and a 3. JL, what about you?
Yeah, I'm with you, Josh. I'm gonna put him in tier 3.
Josh.
Honestly, I could see him. I think he can sneak into the top 10, and so I don't know exactly where that tier 3, tier 4 break is going to happen for me, but I feel confident enough that he'll be around tier 3.
Yeah, he'll be ranked in my top 10 quarterbacks. But there's just like some separation here, especially if I'm putting Josh Allen number 1.
Yeah,
I am I am more in line with Joey. This is a player that I've been rising on throughout the offseason, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is currently my QB6, right there near the top of tier 2, and CeeDee Lamb's currently my wide receiver 5. So I'm very much in line with Joey on that. And so I'm not going to let how the tier list is shaking out based on other votes affect my personal tiers. That way it is staying even, because I think he is a tier behind Justin Herbert, but I believe Justin Herbert's tier 1. So I'm going to put Dak Prescott in tier 2. I think he's solidly tier 2 for me. But with 2 2s and 2 3s, that's going to come out to 2.5, and that is going to put Dak Prescott in tier 3. And yet again, I end up on the losing side of this going on. Josh, I'm going to say you picked Justin Herbert, and we're going to go to JL to pick the next person.
I like how it's lining up though, because like these are the drop offs. This is where they start. So I like
for me, this is perfect so far. Yeah. So I love to tell the tiers are coming along.
And Mr. Scammers wants to know, where would Baba Yaga-saurus land? Elite hand size.
Babadook.
So JL, you can pick Baba Yaga-saurus, or you can pick a different quarterback.
Hand size is great, but like I would have liked to see more production. He'd be pretty low for me.
All right, is it actually me?
Yeah. It is you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let's go with I think you guys were alluding to this guy earlier. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts for redraft is probably going to be a tier 1 quarterback. I've been loving the moves the Eagles have been making. Tier 1.
You're not, JL. I know I see some shocked reactions on the stream, but I have seen multiple analysts, well-respected, ones that I like that have him ranked as their number 2 quarterback overall. You know what? I'll just say names. There's multiple people on the Footballers that have them ranked number 2 overall. I've seen other analysts in the industry with him as a top 5 guy. So maybe while I don't agree, I don't think it's outlandish to put him as a tier 1 quarterback in redraft.
I think he will fit. I mean, right now I'm, my rankings are fluid, but I have him in the top 5. So I think I've been loving the moves the Eagles have been making this offseason. I think they're surrounding him with weapons, and he's got that beautiful rushing floor. I have not been high on Jalen Hurts historically. I've not been a Jalen Hurts truther. Redraft this year, I'm in on Jalen Hurts. I'm hyped for him.
There we go. Just today, Jalen Hurts, I feel like it's so funny seeing people's reactions on Twitter, because Joey posted his top 10 quarterbacks on our Twitter and got just lambasted for his ranking of Jalen Hurts at 10. There were multiple people coming in like, you clown, all this stuff. And then I also saw PFF put something out with Jalen Hurts over, like at number 4, and they got absolutely obliterated in the comments for having him over guys like Joe Burrow and stuff like that. So people are just like very strongly opinionated on Jalen Hurts, regardless of if you have him at 4 or 9. People are going to be upset. Very polarizing, it seems like. I've got Jalen Hurts ending tier 2, right down there at the bottom. He's between Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, behind guys like Dak, Russell Wilson, Kyler. So I'm going to put Jalen Hurts in tier 2, and I've got him at my 9th ranked quarterback, which I might be too low for some, too high for others, but tier 2 is where he's going to land for me. Joey, what about you?
So people saw that and they went a little, and that's fine. They went a little crazy on me. I can handle that.
I brought that up just because people are crazy both ways. Like I saw it on both sides.
Here's the thing is I like Jalen Hurts. There are 3 quarterbacks I'm targeting in drafts this year. Dak, Hurts, and we'll talk about the other one when he comes up. These are the 3 guys that I love their value right now. And Hurts, I'm going to say something really great about him. I absolutely love his schedule. He has the best strength of schedule against teams last year that gave up the most fantasy points to quarterbacks. There's no one even close. It's remarkable how great his schedule is. Now, defense has changed from year to year, but especially with the start. There's no start to the NFL season that I like more than Jalen Hurts for a quarterback. So for me, though, because I have Dak as my QB5, I can't put him in tier 2. He's at tier 3 for me. And that's just where he falls just because of how my rankings are. But I do like Hurts this year.
We've got Jalen Hurts tier 3 from Joey. Josh, what about you?
I have Jalen Hurts ranked pretty high. For me, like he's going to be the beginning of tier 3. I have him ranked as my number 6 quarterback. So that kind of tells you where my tiers are kind of playing out. And I'm going to still put him in tier 3, and I would put him at the beginning of tier 3. So yeah.
So we have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 3. That's going to average out to 2.25, which puts Jalen Hurts in tier 2 ahead of Dak Prescott. Right there with Justin Herbert is where Jalen Hurts is going to end up. And I think that means it's my turn to pick a guy. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Let's go with my number 2 quarterback on the season. I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson is tier 1 for me. He's got the rushing upside. He's shown he can be an effective passer. And I'm expecting a more balanced approach from the Ravens. I know they were super pass heavy last year, super run heavy the years before that as their MO. And I think they saw last year that they can be maybe more balanced this coming season. And that gives me enough confidence that he's going to have enough passing on top of that rushing floor to be a elite fantasy option again. So he's tier 1 for me. Joey, what about you?
So I'm going to put Lamar in tier 2. I don't dislike him at all. I just, like I said earlier, Josh Allen's in a tier of his own for me this year. Lamar's schedule is a little tough to start the season off. So I think he might kind of stumble out the gate a little bit, as much as he can stumble. I mean, he's Lamar Jackson. But if he does stumble a little bit, his schedule does clear up a little bit. So definitely he might be somebody I would target for trades later on in the season. Not even later on, like after week 5.
There you go.
Let's say Derek, if someone's crazy enough, Derek Carr in a piece to get Lamar Jackson, that's a trade I'm making. Because Derek Carr could start off incredible this year.
Russell Wilson.
I really like Russell Wilson.
You were I as soon as I said it, I remembered you were very high on Russell Wilson for this year. I was just thinking of a guy that stereotypically starts off high and then maybe peters off. But we've got one tier 1 and one tier 2. Josh, what about you? Where are you putting Lamar Jackson?
He's my number 4 quarterback for this upcoming season. I would put him in tier 2. He fits nice and snug right in tier 2 for me.
Tier 2. We've got one tier 1 and 2 tier 2s. JL, where are you putting them?
He is tier 2 for me as well. The addition of Tyler Linderbaum makes me very excited for Lamar Jackson this year. I think he is a QB1 upside.
Good name pool. Yeah. Honestly, it is going to help Lamar in a lot of different ways.
Yep, top graded center.
I can't believe no one mentioned that Jalen Hurts also. They now have AJ Brown to throw to. I meant to mention it when I was talking about him.
Oh, you did? I didn't mention AJ Brown by name, but I said they're surrounding him with weapons, and they added a defensive tackle, Jordan Davis, and who was the other guy? They added another guy, offensive lineman in the first, second round, guy from Georgia, and I forget the other one, Cameron Jurgens from Nebraska.
Yeah. Which wide receiver do you guys like best for Hurts next season? Yeah. Is it Smith or is it Brown?
It's Brown.
It's Brown.
It's Brown, yeah.
Yeah, it's Brown for me as well. I know he's the new receiver on the team.
100 million reasons why.
But I'm going to go with...
I like that voice, guys. 100 billion reasons why.
Okay, guys. Joey, we're going to come back to you. Which quarterback would you like to talk about next?
Let's fill out tier 2. Let's put Mahomes up there.
Mahomes tier 2 for you?
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that would normally be tier 1. I mean, no questions asked. However, Tyreek Hill's not there anymore. And for me, that knocks him one spot down below Josh Allen.
There you go.
So into the tier 2.
I'm
interested to see what happens in Kansas City. I think Kelsey's still going to get a ton of work. But Mahomes, I can't see his numbers being like they have been in the past with the personnel he has around him.
Josh, do you agree with Joey here, or where are you putting Patrick Mahomes?
100%. Patrick Mahomes belongs in tier 2 next to these guys' names. These tiers are looking great. I love it now that these are coming together.
JL, what about you? We've got 2 tier 2s for Mahomes so far.
Yeah, he is the back of tier 2 for me.
Back of tier 2 for JL. And, I'm still going to have him in tier 1. He's the end of tier 1 for me. He's my number 4 quarterback. And I just trust the talent enough with the weapons. Like, I know it's some new weapons, but Juju, a new rookie, Mecole Hardman, MVS, on top of Travis Kelce is not a bad core to be throwing to. And he still has Travis Kelce. So I've got him in tier 1 still, but he is the end of that tier 1 for me. He's the last guy I put in that category. But it doesn't matter. He is going to end up tier 2 with these other guys. And the way this chart is building out, you know what? I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense to have him in there. So Patrick Mahomes, tier 2. Josh, where are we going now?
My name is Josh, and I think we should talk about, Joey, I know you want to talk about him. Let's just do it. Let's talk about Russell Wilson. Very high on Russell Wilson. I was doing my projections, and he's looking pretty good. I'm actually almost tempted to put him in tier 2, but he's going to be in tier 3 for me. I expect a very good season from Russell Wilson. He's got great weapons. He's got a great situation. Tier 3.
Tier 3 for Josh. JL, where are you putting Russell Wilson on his new team?
I'm gonna tail Josh here. I'm gonna put him in tier 3. I think he's firmly in tier 3 for me.
Yeah.
Firmly in term 3.
Term
Russell
3.
Wilson.
Firmly in term.
And I've got Russell Wilson as my 7th overall quarterback. He's in line with some of these other guys that I put in tier 2 for me. And so I'm going to put him in tier 2, the way I have it broken down. And I think maybe what the big difference here is the fact that you guys have Josh Allen alone at the top, and I've got him with some other people changing up the tiers here.
I do too with you, Simon.
But he's going to go in tier 2 for me. Joey, what about you?
He's in tier 3 for me. He's one spot behind Dak Prescott. He's my QB6. I love everything around Wilson right now. I mean, he's proven that, he can put up great fantasy numbers when he has 2 capable receivers around him with Lockett and Metcalf the last 2 years.
Just look at that smolder.
I know.
He's ready to go.
So I think Judy and Sutton, are very great pieces to have around him, and KJ Hamler and Tim Patrick as well. And then Javonte can catch passes. I mean, there's a lot of great things going in Russell Wilson's favor. And Denver's defense is great. And he's playing in a division that they are just going to have shootouts all year in the AFC West. So
yeah,
I like Russell Wilson a lot. He's the 3rd quarterback and I do not like taking quarterbacks early in drafts, but between Prescott, Wilson, and Jalen Hurts, those are the 3 quarterbacks that I love their value right now. And I'm definitely targeting in drafts.
Yeah.
Me too, Joey.
All 3 of those guys, Josh?
Yeah. I mean, I just know they're going to be going later than pretty much all the other people we've talked about so far here, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I'm looking for value, and I think there's going to be, relatively similar production with a lot of upside built in. So yeah. Be targeting
JL, it's your turn to pick a guy. I believe Josh just picked Russell Wilson right there. So who do you want to talk about next?
All right, let's talk about Joey Burrow. Let's talk about
Joey
Burrow. Joey B. I want someone up there with Josh Allen. I don't think he's going to make it, and I think Joe Burrow for me is probably tier 2, and so I'm going to go tier 2 for him.
Tier 2 for Joe Burrow from JL. And Joe Burrow's one of those names when I started making my rankings. Initially, I had him at 6. And then as I was building them out, just more and more names kept popping slightly ahead of him in my rankings. There's just not that rushing upside. I don't expect the Cincinnati Bengals offense caught fire towards the end of last season. Joe Mixon's still going to be involved. He's going to be great. He'll be a top 10 quarterback most likely. But this is the first guy that I'm going to put in tier 3. So Joe Burrow's in tier 3 for me, but he's at the top of that tier. Joey, what about you?
So I've got Burrow as my QB9, which I was expecting to get roasted on that today, and nobody even mentioned it.
He's my QB9 too.
Okay,
so QB 11.
Boy, we are in lockstep today. I'm going to put him at the end of tier 3, because I like Dak and Wilson better, and then there's one other guy that I like as well. Actually, 2 other that would go in that tier. He's not a tier 4 guy. He's a top 10 quarterback this year, so he's not going in tier 4. So he's tier 3 for me.
Good tier 3. Josh, what about you?
He's 100% tier 3 for me. He belongs right next to Dak Prescott and Russell Wilson. I actually have him sandwiched in between the 2 guys. It's just with Joe Burrow, the Bengals defense, they got a lot better last year, and actually I expect them to be even better this upcoming year. So if they have a good defense, they're just not going to be enough passing attempts, I believe. And he's not necessarily going to run with the football a bunch. So he doesn't have that kind of upside. So it's I can't logically put him in a tier 2. There's a chance he's got that kind of upside. He's got that kind of talent, and he's got that kind of talent surrounding him. But just how I project the season to go, he's a tier 3 guy.
Tier 3. So Joe Burrow is going to end up in tier 3 for us with 3 tier 3s. and Geek saying the smolder is a highly underrated QBR stat. Nice spots. Yeah, I'm always looking for that in quarterbacks. It's one of the most important things, and it's why Russell Wilson ended up so high in my rankings. I guess that brings me up next. And who do we want to talk about now? You know what? Let's go with the old man, Tom Brady. Is who I want to talk about. And Tom Brady, when I'm looking at this list, he slots in right in there in tier 2 for me. With the weapons he has in that Tampa Bay offense, I just find it difficult not to rank him in that range of players, right? How do you get him outside of your top 8 guys? I tried, I wanted to, but I can't with the receivers that he's going to be throwing to in that Tampa Bay offense. So Brady's tier 2 for me. Joey, where are you putting Brady?
Let's fire the cannons. The Bucks fan here. Tom Brady was the QB3 last year in
Right.
PPR. PPR doesn't matter with quarterbacks, but he's the QB3 last year. He's still doing great at his age. Hopefully I'm doing that good in a few years. But
I'm already in worse health than Tom Brady is at 48, and I'm 27.
Just the way that these tiers are laying out, though, like he is with Dak, Russell Wilson, and Joe Burrow in that tier. But he was the QB3 last year, so there's definitely justification that he could be tier 2 or even tier 1 if you have a few guys up there. But for me, he's tier 3.
Tier 3 from Joey. We've got a tier 2 and a tier 3. Josh, what about you?
Joey, you and I are in line today, man.
You guys have just get a room already, guys, and just
Yeah.
go talk about quarterbacks. Like, oh, Joey, tell me where you have Russell Wilson ranked.
Let's
again.
do a wide receiver
me
tier.
too,
Watch this
Joey.
right now.
Elbows, Joey.
Oh, we both have him at 9.
So Tom Brady would be the top of tier 3 for me. He'd be my number 7 ranked quarterback, and yeah, he was the number 3 ranked quarterback last season. But Chris Godwin, I doubt he's going to be ready for the start of the season. That's going to hurt him. Gronk still hasn't unretired. He's still retired right now. So there's just weapons he's lost. Sure, they got Russell Gage, so that might help a little bit, but he doesn't really get me excited. Tom Brady's a very, very safe tier 3 quarterback.
A very, very safe tier 3 quarterback from Josh. JL, what about you? We've got 1 tier 2, 2 tier 3s. Where's Tom Brady going for you?
He is the very top of tier 3 for me. The very top. I feel like there's
There
a
we go.
separation.
That's what I'm
He
talking
leads
about.
that pack. He leads that pack of tier 3.
Man, maybe
It's just the lack of rushing, honestly, is the biggest thing that separates him.
Yeah.
maybe one of these times the quarterback will land in the tier that I say. What do you think by the end of the show?
Yeah.
Nah.
By the end of the
We
show,
haven't
for
gotten
sure. That Josh Allen
Yeah.
just
See.
screwed you, Simon. We talked about it.
You know
It's
what?
like it set
Josh
your
Allen
tiers
did.
all
I already got my one. I said
Yeah.
Josh Allen tier 1. There's my one for the show.
Yeah.
Joey, which quarterback are we talking about next? This is starting to fill out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah.
glad that we talked about Brady because Kyler Murray kind of feels, even though he's a much different type of
we
quarterback,
haven't
it
talked
kind
about
of,
him yet. Okay.
I know. That's why I was glad we talked about Brady because it's like a similar situation, not because they're alike in the same type of quarterback, but the personnel around them. Like they're both going to be missing a guy to start the season. With DeAndre Hopkins not going to be playing the first part of the season, most likely. So I would put Kyler Murray in tier 3. He is a former tier 2 guy for me though. But for this year, he slots into tier 3.
Tier 3 for Joey. Josh, what about you? Where's Kyler Murray going? Lockstep again?
No, we're gonna separate here.
Yes. Here we go.
I'm gonna put Kyler Murray in
Play.
tier 2. I actually completely forgot we haven't talked about him yet, but Kyler Murray is my 5th ranked quarterback ahead of Jalen Hurts. I think I actually would put Jalen Hurts at the top of tier 3 when it came down to it, but I like Kyler Murray even more than Jalen Hurts. If he's healthy and playing for the Cardinals, which it looks like it's all good to go, with his rushing upside, I really like him in tier 2. He'd be at
Josh,
the end of tier 2 for me.
guess where I have Kyler Murray ranked?
Tier 2?
Tier 2.
I mean QB5. So
Hey,
move
let's
over,
go, let's
Joey.
go.
Move over. Here I come. JL, where are you putting Kyler Murray?
I'm gonna put him in tier 1.
Tier 1.
Tier 1.
And he's gonna
I don't
go
think
in
it
tier 2.
matters.
He's going to go in tier 2 for me.
Mhm.
He's my number 5 ranked quarterback. He's the very beginning of tier 2 for me after those 4 guys that I would put in tier 1. So a 2, a 3, a 2, and a 1 is going to bring it out to exactly 2 average. So Kyler Murray is going to end up in tier 2, and we did it, guys. And by we did it, I mean I did it. It's what I
feels
said.
like I'm doing it. It's like whatever I'm saying is just happening. I'm loving it.
You know what, Josh? I think every single one you've said it has been in the tier so far. That's
Jalen
pretty
Hurts,
awesome.
I think I put in 3, but I was fine with him in 2 as well. Like it still works very well.
Tim in here saying redraft, you got to have Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert / Jalen Hurts in tier 1 as well. They can all be QB1s. They can all be the QB1.
They can be.
And while I don't disagree,
I
with
would
you, Tim, they
say
can all
the
be
people in
QB1.
tier 3 can be all
Yeah,
be the quarterback
there's-
one too.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. There's not a guy I'm looking at right now, other than myself, that I
I
don't
was
think
gonna
could
say,
be QB1.
There's 4 I see on the screen.
Yeah.
They
Well, no,
cannot
I'm
be
sure
QB1
there's a
next year.
couple down here.
No, I mean like that are.
Kirk
that
Cousins
have
could
been
never
placed.
finish QB1.
That have been
That
placed.
is like, yeah,
That's
not
true.
in his nature.
Oh my god!
But-
if he did though,
Top 10
can you
all
imagine
day.
what he would say to us about it?
But Tim, this is a communal tier list. I think JL and I have a couple more people in tier 1. Josh and Joey have Josh Allen fully separated in a tier by himself, which is what's making this right here. But I like both sides. It's very reasonable. I have Josh Allen as my number 1 overall QB, so it's not like I disagree with where these guys have him ranked. Just the difference in how we're tiering it out right now. We just did Kyler Murray and Joey picks. So Josh, who are we talking about now?
Who are we talking about? I want to talk about a guy that I am going to separate from this group. I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I'm putting him in tier 4. He lost his number one weapon, who's been his number one weapon the last 4 years now. Devontae Adams, a stud. Who's Aaron Rodgers throwing to this year? Who's his best wide receiver? Allen Lazard, Christian Watson, a rookie, maybe Robert Tonyan, the running backs? I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned for Aaron Rodgers from fantasy. He's going to be great NFL quarterback. He's still going to be very accurate, but I'm just like having trouble. He's running less nowadays. He's getting older. It's just, I'm having trouble putting him with these other names that we're already seeing. So tier 4 for me.
Tier 4 for Josh. JL, what about you for Aaron Jeopardy Rodgers?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to throw him in a tier 5.
Wow.
I don't think I'm going to. I think tier 4 is going to end up being pretty sizable for me. I'm going to throw him in tier 4 as well.
Yeah. Tier 4. And, I'm actually going to put him in tier 3. I've got him in my tier 3 with 3 other guys. He's my number 12 ranked quarterback. I think he's just on that QB1 range, even without Devontae Adams there. And it seems like Aaron Rodgers finds who to throw the ball to, whether it's Jordy Nelson or Randall Cobb or Robert Tonyan. Whenever players go down, they figure something out there. And this year it may be more of a mix. Maybe we see multiple guys getting involved. Aaron Jones getting more involved in the receiving game, but it's still Aaron freaking Rodgers, and that's enough to put him as a QB1, and that's going to put him in tier 3 for me. So we've got 2 4s and a 3. Joey, where are you putting Aaron Rodgers?
What's better than separating is getting back together. Tier 4. Josh, we're here. We're back.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't dislike Rodgers. He's my QB 11 this year. I think Robert Tonyan has a good chance of getting a lot of targets. Allen Lazard as well. But yeah, I don't dislike him at all. But he's not. I don't think he's going to have as many fantasy points as Tom Brady and Joe Burrow and Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott. So I can't have him even in that tier with them.
Mm-hmm. I think Craig wants to talk about someone specific. I'm sure we will get to him at some point, Craig, probably soon. We just talked about Aaron Rodgers, and I believe Josh picked him. So, JL, who are we talking about next?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know you were going to ask me.
Jay will ask Dak over Rodgers and apps. Yeah. I would take Dak over Rodgers.
Yeah.
I would.
All
more
right.
rushing upside.
3 people that
can
throw
more passes.
I'll take Dak over Rodgers as well.
Yeah. I love Rodgers. He's gonna be a good NFL quarterback. We're not tiering people for NFL purposes, right? He's gonna win games.
I mean, there's a real chance the most targets on the Packers goes to Aaron Jones. There's a real chance of that happening, and that's not gonna be a lot of yards after the catch. So
we're not there yet, but I have a feeling the way this tier list is shaken out that there's no way that tier 6 is going to be the bottom with Rodgers in tier 4, right? So we might have to add one. Depends how far we get on today's show. But don't be bottomed out by 6 is what I'm saying. If you think they are in fact lower than 6, not just like Meeman, let me know and we can add another tier. We can add a 7 and 8, whatever we need to. My brain just completely went blank.
I think.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about Matthew Stafford. I am going to throw Matthew Stafford in tier 4. I think he has just pretty much a similar situation to last season. I think we're going to see a similar Matthew Stafford. He's got even more weapons this year. And I really don't foresee much uncertainty in a situation. So I think he really lands right here. He feels like he belongs here in tier 4 for me.
Tier 4 for JL. And JL, my argument's going to be almost exactly the same, but with a slightly different result. I think he's in a very similar situation to last year. It's going to be great for him. They're adding Allen Robinson into that offense, which I think is going to be good for him. He finished as the QB5 last season. So Matthew Stafford is actually the top of tier 3 for me. He is not the way we have it listed out here, but on my rankings, I've got Matthew Stafford leading that tier 3 as my number 10 quarterback on the season. So I'm going to go tier 3. Joey, what about you?
I just looked at my rankings, and actually Rodgers is not my QB 11. Matthew Stafford is. And I feel like Matthew Stafford is a step above Rodgers. I like his targets. I like who's got around him better. His whole team situation, he's the end of tier 3 for me. So that's where I put Stafford. I think Allen Robinson is going to be incredible this year.
There we go. We got 1 tier 4, 2 tier 3s. Josh, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, He's going right next to Rodgers for me. He's not much rushing upside. Guy has better weapons. I'm tempted to put him in tier 3, but I'm gonna put him in tier 4.
Tier 4.
I see Jay Wall saying Dak's rushing upside. He had 146 red. Yeah, he had a horrific leg injury. If you don't remember the year before that, before that year, he was running a lot. He was averaging like 300 rushing yards, 6 rushing touchdowns a week. I expect him to get back to that a little bit. While Aaron Rodgers is just 40 years old, so I doubt he's gonna get there.
I couldn't find Matthew Stafford for a second, and then I remembered they're in alphabetical order by first name, and that made it much easier to locate him. And I put him in there in tier 4. Also, Tim said QB11 in a 12-team league is a QB1. Yes, these tiers aren't necessarily like these are QB1s, these are QB2s. The QB11, it's where
Josh Allen's the only quarterback one.
Right. It's where there's separation. So what tiers mean, like maybe if you're not doing it, is like whenever you're drafting, maybe there's a group of guys that are all similarly valued. Then there's a drop off in the next group of guys. Think of it as a group of players where you'd be the same level of happy about drafting any of those guys at that spot. Roughly. Know what I mean? There's going to be small differences. If you would be less happy drafting them in that spot, then they probably are a tier below. Not necessarily just this is a QB1, this is a QB2 kind of thing going on here. So Matthew Stafford ended up in tier 4, and JL picked that one, I believe, right? So it is my turn to pick a guy that we are talking about. Oh, goody. I should have been thinking about this, but I didn't. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a name up there that my last tier 3 quarterback, that I think you guys are going to disagree with, but I'm high on him. I like the weapons that they added. I like their new coach. I'm excited for the offense, and I think we saw some flashes from him. No, he's a young quarterback. I've got Tua Tagovailoa in tier 3. He is in that tier with that tier for me is Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, and Tua Tagovailoa. I love the addition of Tyreek Hill. I love another year with Jalen Waddle in that offense. So I've got Tua as a top 12, or he's my number 13 quarterback. So right there in that QB1 range. And that is tier 3 for me. Joey, what about you? Where are you putting Tua?
Tua is in tier 5 for me. And I don't dislike him a whole lot. I just don't think he's on the same level as Stafford and Rodgers. He's got upside. He's got 2 great people he can throw the ball to. 3 if you count Gesicki. I think there are big question marks with Tua this year. And I'm not even sure if he'll keep the job if the Dolphins don't move on from him, if he doesn't perform after this year.
Not even sure he'll keep the job at tier 5. Josh, what about you? Where are you putting Tua?
Hey, Joey, I'm with you. I think Tua will have the job the complete year. I think Tua will take the next step. I think Tyreek Hill will help him, but the next step, I mean, he's pretty freaking low in fantasy points per game last year. He's going to have to run, I think, to get up in tiers here. He's definitely tier 5. He's a guy I'm willing to take a shot on, later in drafts. If, honestly, not even in normal one quarterback leagues, unless a lot of teams are taking backup quarterbacks. Cause I just know like the top 15 quarterbacks are so strong. He's not going to be in my top 15. I think he's either 16 or 17, but he does separate himself. I'd put him in tier 5 personally.
Dame loving Tua, and Craig said, Joey, from one bad take to another tonight. We've got 3 2 5s. JL, where are you putting Tua Tagovailoa?
Oh, man, this is tough. I feel like I've been high on Tua for a while now.
How's it feel?
He was injured last season for most of the season. And he's playing through injury.
He played 13 games.
He played through injury, including a broken rib, which is a very difficult injury to play through. I'm trying to decide between tier 5 and tier 4. Honestly, he's right on that line for me. He's just sneaking into my top 15. So I think I'm going to say tier 4, and I think his rushing upside is going to be enough to tip it for me.
Well, a 3, a 4, and 2 5s is going to be enough to put him squarely in tier 4. Tua is going to land there. The average came out to 4.25, which puts him in tier 4. So Tua Tagovailoa is going to join Stafford and Rodgers right there.
Definitely should be behind those 2 guys. No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have him ranked behind those 2 guys as well. I agree with all of you there. I guess maybe I just have him a little bit closer than you guys do on that one.
I mean, you just look at my rankings. He's very close to those guys.
Yeah. They're in a similar range, I think, for all of us. Just it's where that tier break is. Joey, back up to you. What are we talking about next?
What are we talking about?
We're getting into the fun names now.
Yeah.
This is some real disagreement.
This name's not going to be fun.
I
just want to get it out of the way. Let's talk about Deshaun Watson. on the field.
Oh,
Yeah,
all
let's
right.
talk about him.
So are we assuming he's playing, or how do you think we should do this?
So I think you have
Yeah.
a player that has, if he's on the field for 17 games, has every right to be as high as even tier 2. He has that talent, but that huge question mark of we don't know if he's going to miss games. So if I'm looking at these tiers of I'm taking these tiers into a draft, which everybody, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use this.
Yeah.
I am going to put him in tier 4. But he has that potential to be tier 2. I even argue with myself to maybe put him in tier 3, but the safety of having Stafford or Rodgers, I'm not including Tua in this, puts him in tier 4 for me.
Tier
Damn
4
it.
for Joey. Josh, what about you?
Behind those guys.
Why are you making us do this, Joey?
So if I was drafting right now, and that's kind of how I'll take it, I am drafting him after all these quarterbacks and much more. When it comes down to it, like, I don't want to hang on to a backup quarterback. I'm not going to draft him as my back. I don't really typically draft backup quarterbacks in one quarterback leagues. So, like, where does he fit in? Like, it's like after Trevor Lawrence, after Matt Ryan, still, like, honestly, he's probably like tier 6 for me or something.
Tier 6 for Josh.
Like
Dale,
right
what
now.
about you?
Yeah, I mean, where we know now, I'll put him in tier 7, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why I added that down there. Currently, he's undraftable for me right now.
This is really tough to
idea.
tell.
We have no idea what's going to happen. Joe, you're absolutely right. Like, if he plays a full season, he's got tier 2 potential, but it's very up in the air right now, and I'm unwilling to take on that risk. So he is
Especially
tier 7
in a 1 QB league. Don't take that risk early. It's not
tier
worth
7
it
for me.
Can not an argument for Watson, but of how to draft Watson. Can I make an argument for it?
Sure.
So if you want to draft Deshaun Watson, for whatever reason you want to draft him, he's going so much later than all these other guys that you could pair him with a Derek Carr late in drafts. And then if you have Deshaun Watson and he plays 17 games, you have a tier 2 quarterback. You have a tier 3 quarterback, and you can trade Derek Carr for another piece. So while he's down there low, he's also going that low. But he has the potential to be so much more.
Yeah, that is a fair point.
That's why I had him at 4.
That makes sense. And he's going to end up in tier 6 with a 4, a 6, and 2 7s. He's going to end up exactly in tier 6. It averaged out to perfectly 6. And that's where Deshaun Watson's going to end up. Josh, you've got next pick. Where are we going next?
We haven't mentioned him yet, and this is the hot topic. This is the guy we want to talk about. Trey Lance.
Yeah,
Trey Lance. Let's talk
knew it.
about Trey Lance. When it comes down to it, where am I drafting him with his rushing upside, with his team situation, the weapons around him? I expect him to start the entire year. I think the 49ers would be idiotic not to start Trey Lance.
Idiotic.
Seriously,
idiots.
With that kind of rushing upside, man, I'm so tempted to go tier 3. I'm going to put him in tier 3. I'm going to put him in tier 3.
Tier 3 for Joshua. JL, what about you?
Yeah.
Where are you putting Lance?
I too am going to throw him in tier 3.
We'll draft
Actually,
those other guys above him still.
Yeah, I would probably draft those. He's skirting that line between tier 4 and tier 3 for me. I just want to be fun. I like Josh's energy, so I'm going tier 3.
Let's go.
He is right at the top of my tier 4 for me. He's my QB 14, right ahead of Kirk Cousins, right behind Tua. So he is going to be tier 4 for me. I love the rushing upside, all the points you made, Josh. But I don't think tier 4 is a bad place to put him. Like that's a good thing, not a bad thing that I'm putting him there. You just like him a little bit more. Joey, where are you putting him? We've got 2 3s and a 4 so far.
Simon, can I ask you, would you take Tua or would you take Trey Lance?
I would take Tua for this year.
Really? I think I would take Trey. I know I would take Trey.
Obviously. I mean,
yeah.
Where I put him.
Joseph, Anthony.
He's my QB 21. I do not like Trey Lance this year at all. I don't even think he's guaranteed to have that job in San Francisco, honestly.
But he most likely does.
But they'd be idiotic.
They would be idiotic.
Shanahan is openly saying, "Hey, I want to trade him."
Yeah.
Like we are trading.
He backtracked when he said that a little bit. He was like, he should be traded. He's like, but it's never a guarantee.
It's like a timing thing. Is like what's going on.
There's a lot of draft capital with him. Like he should be their starter. Absolutely. I do not like his schedule.
Honestly, right now, I should have put him in tier 4 because if we were drafting right now, I just made that logic with Deshaun Watson. He's more of a tier 4 guy.
Are you changing, Josh, or are you leaving it?
I'm going to change it to tier 4.
Okay.
Tier 4.
Damn it! Now I feel alone.
I say I'm gonna say tier 5 just
When
the way
we-
my rankings work out, but he'll end up in 4, and that's fine.
When
I
we
understand the
get
upside,
to August, he's going to be a tier 3 guy for me, JL. So don't worry. All right.
All right, I'll stay with
He,
mine.
he does end up in tier 4 exactly because the 3 and 5 cancel out. The 2 4s put him in tier 4. Trey Lance is going to be a tier 4 quarterback. Who
Right
picked
behind
Trey
Tua,
Lance?
right where he belongs.
JL, did you pick Trey Lance?
Nope, Josh did.
Josh picked Trey Lance. JL, that means you get to pick someone else now, unless we unanimously decide to skip you. Anyone? I'm just JL. Who are we talking
skip
about?
him.
Let's
Skip
talk
him.
about Macaroni
Ooh,
Grill
Macaroni
Jones.
All right.
He is tier 5 for me. The Patriots, I am not very confident in their offense this season. Mac Jones is not a running guy. Sometimes he's not even a passing guy. So I'm gonna go with tier 5 for him.
Tier 5 for JL for Mac Jones. And yeah, JL, that Patriots offense scares the snot out of me right now. With the options that they have there.
They're like that. They're like that friend who you go golfing with, and they got like every single club is a different brand.
You mean me?
Yeah, that's what the Patriots offer.
You just described my golf bag because it is all secondhand clubs from like the club stores.
Every
in
iron's from a different set.
When I lived in Augusta, those like secondhand golf shops were the bomb. You could get nice stuff there, but none of my stuff matches. It's all just used random mismatched clubs in my bag. And I'm terrible, so maybe that's correlated. But Mac Jones for me is for those reasons that you stated, JL. I've got him right next to Justin Fields, and Justin Fields has more upside. Mac Jones has more safety, but that brings them out to about the same level, and that's going to be tier 6 for me. I just what are we hoping for from Mac Jones? What he did last year? Like, that seems like the best case scenario. I don't see it getting too much better than what he did last year. And I don't see this offense going crazy and letting him just sling it around the field. So I've got him in tier 6. There's just no upside in drafting Mac Jones for me. Joey, what about you?
100%. The schedule, the NFC North is brutal. They're playing the NFC North this year. I am out on Mac Jones. So tier 6.
2 tier 6s, a tier 5. Oh, sorry, Joey.
Yeah, no, tier 6. I'm saving 7 for someone special.
Josh, and we can add more if we need to. Josh, where are you putting Mac Jones?
I have trouble with this one because, like you guys said, he's very safe. But I'm just not drafting him. I'm just not touching him. If I'm drafting a quarterback that late, I am shooting for upside, guys. 100%. I'm not carrying Mr. Safe Mac Jones on my bench.
Matt Corral or Mac Jones, Josh?
Mac Jones, because Corral might not even be the starter, but Corral has more upside because he runs. He's actually a really good
Mac
runner.
Jones or Tim Tebow, Josh?
It's like Mac Jones probably belongs in tier 5. I think there's probably should be a large grouping in tier 5 when it comes down to it, but I'm not touching him. He's in my tier 6. Yeah.
He's going to end up in tier 6 because of that. Mac
Justin
Jones
Fields or Mac
6.
Jones, Josh?
Justin Fields, the upside. But if you ask me, if you made me bet my life, who has more fantasy points at the end of the season? Probably Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Josh, that's what I've got. Mac Jones one spot ahead of Justin Fields in my rankings, but I will draft Justin Fields ahead of Mac Jones. Probabilistically, I think Mac Jones would finish with more points, but there's just no upside with him. Full agree.
I'm assuming Zach Wilson is the easy Zach Wilson.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Zach Wilson.
Same reasoning. Okay.
Well ahead of them.
Okay.
Tim in here saying not touching Lance at his ADP, and Craig with something similar, not drafting Trey in 1 QB right now. Too much risk of not playing. That is 100% fair. Mr. Scampers wants to talk about Jared Goff. Maybe we'll get to him. We got about 10 minutes. We can probably fit some Jared Goff in here. And Platinum Zora says, I think Mahomes is tier 1. I agree with you. I think Mahomes belongs in tier 1. But what we have going on here is just Josh Allen. There's a separation, a tier of his own for Josh and Joey here, which makes complete sense. I think he's all of our QB1. Jay, is Josh Allen your QB1?
I think. I don't know yet, but I think probably.
So he's up there, and maybe some of us put Mahomes in tier 1, others in tier 2, but he's up there as well. It says Joe Burrow as well for Platinum. He could definitely finish up there. I'm not going to rank him up there, though.
And real fast, to Craig's point, he says he's not drafting Trey in 1 quarterback right now. Too much risk. I'd rather not draft him in Superflex because he's way too high. He's like a 2nd-round pick, maybe a 1st-round pick in some leagues. So, I'm actually more comfortable taking him in a 1 quarterback league compared to a multiple quarterback league.
I'll never get him where he's going.
Yeah. Regardless, I'm probably not getting much Trey Lance either.
Yeah.
To Tim's point, he's probably getting at his ADP. It's a little high.
Okay, I guess it's my turn, and I'm just gonna pick a guy that we probably should put on here. It's not exciting to talk about. He's probably just like a very safe, bland, but good quarterback, Kirk Cousins. He's got great weapons in this offense. It's a good Minnesota offense. He finished well last year. He'll probably do well again this year. The way I have my tiers broken out, he's tier 4. He probably with this list, I'd have him below these guys right here, like Stafford, Rodgers, Tua, and Trey Lance. But because I know how you guys did your tiers and we're going to balance them out, I'm going to stick with what I have, and he's going to be tier 4 for me. So Kirk Cousins is a tier 4 quarterback. Joey, what about you?
The way these tiers are working out, I would have Cousins before Tua and Trey Lance, so he's in tier 4.
Tier 4.
I don't think Cousins is on the same level as Stafford and Rodgers this year, though. So
yeah.
If Tua and Lance were in 5, I would stick them in 5. But
I agree with you, Joey.
Sense?
Yeah, I've got Stafford and Rodgers in my tier 3, which is why I'm putting Cousins in tier 4. He is a tier behind them. But again, this is a conglomeration of all of our rankings. So it's gonna they'll level each other out. So you've got tier 4 for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we've got 2 tier 4s. Josh, where are you putting Kirk Cousins?
I think he fits in at the end of tier 4 when it comes down to it. He's not going to be the number 1 overall quarterback like JL said earlier, but he's probably going to be a top 12 quarterback when it comes down to it. Tier 4.
Tier 4. And JL, what about you? We've got 3 tier 4 so far.
Yeah, I feel like I should put him in tier 4 because I think Justin Jefferson's going to have a good year. I'll throw him in tier 4 too.
Tier 4, a unanimous tier 4. That might be our only unanimous one so far besides Josh Allen.
Someone better do Goff before we go.
Okay, well, I just picked Cousins. Joey, it is your turn.
Let's just bang some out.
Goff right now.
Let's talk.
Let's
talking. Let's just bang them out. Let's just say what tier.
Okay, let's bang Goff right now. Joey, where are you banging Goff?
Behind the schools. No, I'm gonna. Oh, sorry, you set me up for that. Jared Goff, tier 6. Yeah. Oh boy, that's right. He's
6
got
for me
good
too.
stuff around him, but that's what it feels like.
6 for me.
6 for Joey, 6 for JL,
6,
and 6 for me. He is in my 6th tier.
Wow, unanimous.
So I'm going to put Jared Goff down here in tier 6.
Derek Carr.
Joey,
Derek Carr.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes. No, that's the name I want to bring up.
Okay, cool.
After Rodgers, he's the only other quarterback that I see down on the bottom that I think has the chance to finish as the QB1. I think he's got incredible talent around him. He's got a great tight end, 2 great wide receivers. There's no reason Derek Carr couldn't surprise the entire league and finish as a QB1. I don't have him ranked that way, but he's the last person down there that I think has the chance to be at that level. But he's in tier 4 for me right after Rodgers.
4. Josh, what about you? 4? JL?
4.
And echoing exactly what Joey said, 4 for me as well. Derek Carr. Look, now we're getting unanimous. Derek Carr in tier 4. Tier 4 is what brings us together.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones. Tier 6 for me.
5. Yeah, he's got a great schedule.
3 5s and a 6. 5.
Okay, 3 5s and a 6. That's going to make him tier.
I like
5.
this like fast.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, damn it.
Lawrence,
No,
let's
I want
do it.
to say Trevor Lawrence.
5.
4.
5.
Justin Fields.
Joey, where'd you put him?
We all 5.
Oh, you
Lawrence,
also 5.
where are
Damn
we?
it.
What player are we on?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I said 5.
Damn it. Well, I said 4.
then-
Kenny Pickett.
6.
7.
6.
7.
I'm also going to say 7 because there's a chance Trubisky starts, so I'm going to put him in 7. So that puts him in 7, 2 7s and 2 6s.
Someone said Fields. earlier.
Fields
5.
Fields
5.
5.
Fields 6 for
5.
me. Right at the beginning of 6 with Mac Jones.
What'd
So
you
we've
say,
got
Joey?
what, 3 5s?
Yep.
Okay, well, he's going to end up in 5 then. Matt Ryan.
6.
5.
He's 5 for me.
Okay.
There you go.
So he's going to end up in 5. Let's see. Matt Ryan, where'd you go?
You know, Ryan's
5.
like the break between 5 and 6 for me, so that's fine. Go ahead. What was it?
Tannehill is 5 for me.
Yeah, 5
I
for me
just
too.
don't see the upside. 6.
6.
Ooh,
So he's 2
good.
5s and 2
Straight up running
6s.
team. Yeah.
So he's going to
Sorry,
end up
Tannehill.
in 6.
Right
Okay,
now.
Davis Mills.
Can you put him at the
Ooh.
top?
7.
6.
Davis Mills.
My God, Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, needs to be
I've got him
7.
in 6 as well. So 3 6s and a 7. Davis Mills is going to end up in tier 6.
Zach Wilson. 5.
4.
5. No.
Five.
6.
4.
2, 5. Okay, 5 then.
So that ends up in 5. 2 5s, a 4, and a 6 is going to put Zach Wilson firmly in tier 5.
Jameis.
Carson Wentz. Oh, Jameis. Oh,
Yeah, we got
Jameis is a fun
Jameis
one.
for
That's
Dame.
tier 5 for me.
5.
He's with Ryan Tannehill
5.
and Matt Ryan.
So much.
5.
Jameis
Yep,
is
5.
5.
And
Five.
Jameis is my tier 5 is so small. Like, it felt like I had some big tiers, and tier 5 it was like there's 3 quarterbacks I'm very comfortable with here, and then it just falls off a cliff.
Okay.
Wait, I think Jameis is 6 for me actually.
Well,
Well, it's still 5.
we had 3 5s and
It's
a
still
6.
5, yeah.
Carson
Oh, wait.
Wentz.
Yeah.
12.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding.
6.
6 for me as
Good
well.
weapons. Yeah, the 6 is great.
Watch out for John Dotson.
Baker Mayfield.
Marcus Mariota.
6.
6.
Yeah, he's 6 for me as well. Sam Darnold.
8.
7.
Yeah, 7 for me.
I'll put him in 7 as well.
I would rather
down there.
draft Kenny.
I don't think we need more than 7.
Yeah, I think
Um,
almost all the rest of these guys are tier 7 for me because they're either not
Yeah,
expected
7
to
or
start
lower. Yeah.
Drew Lock's the only other name that's I think is
Yeah.
confirmed as a starter, and that's until Baker gets
7.
there.
Still 7 for me.
Drew Lock's
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit
this-
higher
this
for
is
me,
good.
but we can
This is
call
good.
it here. We can just leave
Yeah,
these guys
I like
right
this.
here.
Add,
Good
those,
work.
add all those guys at 7.
Put them all in 7.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like
Just
like
bucket
Baker
them so
Mayfield.
we can have a nice little list we can tweet out.
Do we do Davis
Matt
Mills?
Corral, quit trying to
Yeah, we
sneak
did.
up there.
Yeah, I'm fine with all these guys in 7, honestly. Not Carson Strong. Don't even put. He doesn't belong even mentioned. To be honest, like undrafted person. Like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, no,
you
I'm
can
with
leave
that,
him
I'm
there.
with
It doesn't.
I
Really
can't delete him. I can't
He's
delete
stuck.
him. No, Carson.
He weaseled
stuck,
his way
bro.
on
Can
here.
you right click on him? Never mind. It's all good. It doesn't matter.
Nope. Here, I'll just cover him up.
Just
Now he's
zoom
not
in on
there.
him.
Okay, cool.
Since we
look.
we have a minute. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at that bottom row. One of those guys gets the starting job. How high? Who's the highest guy you see moving up?
I'm Malik Willis. If he
So
just
the
is
Titans-
given the starting job all of a sudden, with his rushing ability, I know he doesn't have a lot of weapons, but he can run around and like that easily. He could easily find his well, like not a ton of tiers, tier 5. You know,
For me, it might be one of the Steelers quarterbacks if we get
Yeah.
clarity that they're
Yeah.
going to be the starter from
Yeah.
week 1. Like if something happens and we get clarity, this guy will be the starter all season. Then it would probably be one of those guys for me, Trubisky or Pickett, just because of the weapons they have there in Pittsburgh, right? I know the O-line's not great, but that's going to be the tiebreaker for me with all these names down here. And then
I think
Jimmy
that-
G, of course, if he gets
Yeah,
the
Jimmy
job.
G. I think Desmond Ritter's kind of sneaky.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Because I feel like when they drafted him, the Mariota trade made a lot more sense to me. So not saying that Ritter's going to take over that job, but after this year, it wouldn't be surprising at all.
And Dame said,
Gino.
Gino. Guys,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you a secret. I forgot the Seahawks quarterbacks on here, Drew Lock and Geno Smith. So we're just going to pretend like we're not ranking them. So no one bring them up. Okay. That's the
perfect,
secret
perfect,
going on right
perfect.
now. What Seahawks?
What Seahawks?
Maria said, I wish they could then all meet and tier you for. Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be a
would
long
hilarious.
show.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be
This
funny
is
if we
fun.
did like a battle royale bracket like with ourselves and we had to argue like who
4
would win the
Joshes
fight?
versus 3 Joeys.
Joey
That
would
would
just
be
talk
divvy
about
it up. Joey would just charm him to death. Just wink at him.
Oh,
and
hi,
Josh
hi,
starts
hi,
flirting.
Stop.
Guys, everybody who tuned in and hung out with us, shared your opinions, gave us recommendations for quarterbacks. Thank you for watching today. These were our collective 2022 quarterback tiers. I'm sure as news comes out, there might be some movements with some of these guys, especially names like Trey Lance and some of these other people whose jobs are up in the air right now. But we'll keep
Frank
adjusting as we
Scarpio.
get closer to the season. That is going to be it for us today, though. A couple reminders. Number one, if you are not already subscribed to FanDuel on YouTube, go ahead and fix that right
do
now.
it.
Hit that subscribe button. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. And then make sure you go check out FanDuel on TikTok, Instagram. I'm forgetting one.
TikTok.
And TikTok also. Make sure
Twitch.
you go check them out all at all
Instagram.
those places. They're at
Twitter.
at FanDuel on Twitter is the one I forgot. There we go. They're at FanDuel across all of those
Snapchat.
platforms and have a whole team of awesome content creators. Jail's going to just keep naming places where you can type in
LinkedIn.
FanDuel. Ask Jeeves, Zanga, MySpace.
MySpace. Yeah.
Quora Plus.
Yeah, they're on Quora answering fantasy football questions. Guys,
JJ Zachary.
If you enjoyed what we did here, we are live every day, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time, playing games, doing mock drafts, creating tier lists, all stuff just like this. So make sure you head on over to our channel at Front Yard Fantasy and subscribe there. That's what we are on YouTube. On Twitter, we're at Front Yard FYF, and we've got links in the bio to all of our stuff. Until Monday, though, at 3 p.m., we are out of here. Oh, yeah, check us out on TikTok. Josh's handsome mug is all over it.
Hey,
that's at Front Yard FYF there. Until Monday, though, hopefully those TikToks can hold you over. We are out of here. Adios, everybody.
Trading means fantasy fun.
Whew.
Let's go.